sides of it because there's also those people I feel like that pull that you're like,
but like what I'm saying is like, so when these girls would throw themselves at him in particular, and he would just reject them, they would just get so dejected that like they would just grab the next human male.
Because
like,
even Dirty Mike has turned them down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And on that, Dirty Mike is a legend of the sesh. Hello, welcome to the 1 to 10 podcast. Dirty Mike's a crazy guy. We gotta get him as a guest,
dude.
Right,
you can swing that.
Maybe.
I think we can get Dirty
right.
Mike.
He'd probably reject us too.
This episode sponsored by Liquid Death yet again, unofficially.
Indeed.
Murder Your Thirst. Actually sponsor us, please.
Is that actually their like quote? Murder Your Thirst.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
I every time I watch over the episode, because I do watch the episodes at the back end.
I didn't notice that.
Shit, I've never noticed.
Speaking of, Jamie and I were having a sesh for editing not too long ago, like for the last episode.
I'm glad you two get along.
Well, no, he posted this. Like, he showed me the clip and he was like, "Yeah, it took 17 minutes into the VOD," and there was like this weird audio warp for both of us the first time we each played it back on different like devices.
Okay.
But then we tested it again and it went away and it never showed up in the episode. So I was like, all right, well, audio didn't get fucked. I got so upset when I saw it at first. I was like, man, we have to cut this part. It was a great bit. We don't have to cut it. Let's go. The pod goes on.
No cuts on the pod.
Goes on.
Liquid Death, Murder Your Thirst. Have you guys tried any of the other flavors?
No.
I actually legitimately have a case of the berry flavor in the
Right,
fridge.
you were talking about the Mountain Berry, and when he brought him over, I'm gonna say I was a little upset it wasn't the Mountain Berry. I'm not. I knew you're holding
First
it for
off,
yourself.
Mountain
which
Water,
is fair.
yes. Berry It Alive is the berry flavor.
Oh, okay.
We also have Mango Chainsaw and Severed Lime are the other flavors.
Okay, Mango Chainsaw feels like a lazy.
Mango
Chainsaw feels like they couldn't rhyme anything with chainsaw and they gave up.
Well, like Severed
Murder.
Severed Lime, right? Severed Head, like it's a concept,
Severed Lime works.
Berry It Alive, great branding name, also amazing flavor.
Yeah,
very good. Went to a concert on Saturday. They had all of them there too. Went out on my way to get the mango one the other night.
Yeah.
Tried it. Not my favorite. I like mango, but I don't like it.
I think mango.
But the Berry It Alive.
Mango is very boom or bust.
I only like mango in salsa or on certain types of fish.
What about your jewel
But
pods?
outside of that, like,
or
in my jewel
shout out to that
pods,
thumbnail
baby.
that took up, dude. Thinking back on that great memory of the pod, like 16 episodes when we had the mango jewel pod on the thumbnail, and it kept getting dejected over and over again. So I just kept working with YouTube to get it submitted over and over again.
Yeah,
Jamie may be an artist of the editing, but he's not great at working with YouTube. When it comes
I don't think there's a single YouTuber or anyone who uses like the space that it.
Well,
works
the real
with
problem
YouTube.
here is that we have under 1,000 subs on the YouTube channel as of right now.
Yeah,
so it's very hard for us to work with YouTube when we need to because we don't have the partner relationship that we need.
We don't have the clout.
1K is not even clout these days.
Is it?
I think 10 to 100K is where clout really starts to get you recognition on YouTube or any kind of space like that.
That's what gets you the meetings with like the actual like.
No, 100.
I mean,
no. The rules are legit.
No.
No. The rules are straight up like 1K. You have a partner account. You can get with people, right? Now 100K, might be able to have more leverage, and then the millions, etc., where you can meet with literal people like Susan. Shout out.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, with that in mind, go ahead and like scroll down below, click the like, give
a
a thumbs up,
yeah,
because the thumbs up lets it go
turn
in
on the
algorithm
notification
more, so more
bell,
people
even
see
though
it.
Nobody likes notifications.
No, don't turn on the noto bell. Fuck that dumb
and
shit.
Tell me why my takes are dog shit.
No,
right.
Okay,
go in the
yes,
comments and tell me.
We
Everything
actually
I've
need
said
to
is stupid.
go back on that because we do have a couple comments from the last couple weeks.
Oh, that we need to like.
Yeah, in the Tin Man episode. Sorry for the reference. Name of reference, not you. Okay, so in the name of the reference so in episode 20, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There
what episode it was. What episode are we in now? Even.
What episode do you think?
29.
I know where we're at.
29.
You said 29.
Yeah.
What do you think?
30.
29. Let's go. Good. I'm glad we played the mini game. Good job, boys.
Dude,
Good
I
job
love the mini
remembering.
game,
I'm proud
bro.
of you guys.
I remembered and I started to think about it and I was pretty sure it's 29, but
Hey, we're getting there.
It's
all
like
that
it's kind of like how Pardon My Take has just like a random ball thing, like lottery thing,
Yeah,
and
man.
they just guess the number.
Oh, that's neat.
Oh, we can do bingo.
Nah, we're
Just have a running
Nah,
game.
we
that's
just do our own
copy,
thing, man.
dude.
We're here.
We're gonna just get a chicken and like a board with a bunch of numbers and cut its head.
Like in the old country?
Yeah,
Like in old country.
South Park did it.
The Simpsons did it first.
Yes, and Simpsons did it.
Yeah, dude. So what's been going on with you guys?
Wait, what about the comments though? I feel like.
Oh yeah, the comment. It said it was the best episode yet. They weren't sure why.
I have heard that.
Anyways, yeah, I heard that too. It was probably just less noise. I think Crowley like showed up probably a little bit.
I think if Crowley was in the episode, that like dogs garner just views naturally.
I don't think people just realize that like Crowley is in the episode.
Like,
If we did have a Crowley cam,
Oh,
if we just
man.
added him laying on the ground here.
So let's talk about what we were talking about pre-recording real quick.
Okay.
2 ideas I have for this camera
Okay.
after I upgrade to another camera, right? So I set up, I'm probably going to have 2 cameras eventually. Down the line, my bigger goal, which ties into the thing that I want to tell you about Samantha doing something very nice for me.
Yes.
Remember I've been talking about getting a Marvel vs. Capcom arcade cabinet?
Yeah.
So like, there's different versions of the 1UP arcade cabinets.
Yeah.
I was not a 1UP arcade guy. I thought they were dumb as fuck for a long time.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought they were like whack Pac-Man random bullshit ones you see at Walmart. Like, I don't care.
Right. There's not very many good ones these days.
And, well, no, that's actually not the truth. Now there's very many good ones because
Well,
because
you can get the electronic ones. Yeah.
You can get the table
Well,
style
yeah.
ones. You can get the full cabinet. You can get a
Well, I
countercade,
mean, like,
which is
also, like,
just the top of the cabinet essentially. You put it on a table.
These are old like retro games.
Right, so it's still
usually play,
Galaga
so, like
stuff
the
you're playing anyway.
like
Okay.
the
Exactly.
technology's there to make these things souped up and sick, right?
No
Yeah.
shit. But you can also make your own Raspberry Pi, build your own one, whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the way I would ever approach, retro gaming if I ever wanted to have one cabinet, a bunch of games on it with one Raspberry Pi, blah, blah, blah. And then Sam listened to me when I said there was a Marvel Superheroes cabinet that's $179 currently instead of $250 because it's a countercade. So it's a 2-player countercade, just a display.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
sits
No podium essentially, right, to hold it up higher so you can
Mhm.
stand playing it. But we could put it on the table and play right here.
Yeah.
Right.
She ordered it for me
Oh,
because it's on sale,
Oh,
so it's
okay.
coming this week.
Wife.
All right.
Yeah.
So next week on the pod, we all
Yeah,
battle each
yeah.
other in
So next
Pac-Man,
week,
Galaga.
we'll have
etc.
a
No,
round
actually,
robin
it's
tournament.
it's either Street Fighter versus Marvel Superheroes or Marvel versus Capcom 1 is
Okay.
basically our options of what we could
Okay.
actually play. There's also Marvel Superheroes and the Punisher, but I believe those are platforming games.
Mm.
And
I
it's
could
2-player.
outplatform the shit out of you guys.
Right.
We'll
Watch
see.
me jump.
So what I was going to say is that after I inevitably get another camera, either another camera is one just for the stream, another set of cameras so we can do more things with the pod. I think the 3-camera approach is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
imagine having
Angles.
Right.
yeah,
I can look over here and make a weird comment.
Well, it's
And
more
then
like-
lose all audio completely.
like occasionally we diatribe. Like one of us really diatribes particularly.
Yeah.
So imagine it cuts to Parm, and rather than having a full shot outward or a full shot of me right now, we had a camera there that was shooting
Right.
directly
Oh,
on
yeah.
me. We cut to that, and then we cut back to the
Yeah.
other.
and
cameras.
that's better for YouTube too, because I feel like when if we're having a discussion or like a back and forth argument or people are saying shit, it can kind of get confusing. But if you're able to cut between different cameras to show like, oh,
Absolutely.
that person's talking, oh, this person, it's a little different than when they're at that perspective
get
back
the
there.
emphasis on the face as well.
Mhm.
You know, what I'm
Right, you can
saying?
see how ugly
cute
I
my
am in real
homies
life.
are.
Man, yeah.
Depends
so
on
I
our
was,
angle.
so the other thing I was thinking doing in the short term, though, if I get something for the stream, is have the main camera
Mhm.
and obviously have a higher zoom and better quality, so that way
Yeah,
it's like
right.
because I do notice some things. I've definitely figured out a lot more of how to use Streamlabs with the camera I have,
Yeah.
but I think I can just do more if I had something a little better and just push it farther.
Mhm.
Okay.
And that's always how I want to be. I'm on this constant.
Yeah, just slowly upgrade over time. And whatnot.
Well, it's also the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen, which is a societal thing. It's the constant cycle of self improvement.
Oh, okay.
Oh, everybody's
okay.
trying to be
I can get
better.
behind that.
Yeah, yeah.
We need some of that in the States.
Well,
Right.
we do have that in some places. Like Toyota created the 5S system. It's a whole business model thing about
Yeah, like the Toyota
That's a-
thon.
that's a
you know,
Japan-
you know, when they have the Toyota.
No,
thon.
but then there's American businesses who take that and go, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's an amazing thing. We should do this and
Yeah.
replicate this in our own space," which very much well works. I've seen it in real time.
Okay.
Not going to reference where. Shout out to my day job.
There you go. There you go.
It's whatever. But anyways, the point is that I always want to push farther and whatever. So I was like, what else could I do? And we're also talking about buying a house and saving for that, and it's going, all right, man. But I was thinking damn, I have to have another space because baby,
Yeah.
and I need to have a space away. So I was like,
Yeah,
what do I do? It's
Megatron.
like,
Well,
all right.
luckily,
So imagine this room is a basement instead,
yeah.
right?
See, that's what I mean. You have.
And
the
here's my
basement.
computer, and then to the left of here sits this camera on this tripod turned the other way, and then one day, mini 1UP arcades, and then I'm like, POV, you are in the arcade with me. It is 1996, and Digimon is rad. Just
I can
random.
imagine the Power Rangers posters on the wall right now.
Yeah. Right. Well,
There was one somewhere. There's one somewhere. There it is.
Yeah, there we go.
Mario.
Right
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Hey, it doesn't go away.
But you'll have more wall space, so you can have more.
Green Ranger right there.
dude.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What do you guys think about the pop figures? Have we ever discussed what kind of
Yeah,
human
yeah.
being you find me? It's actually
Oh.
that's the real question. Let's postulate here. What kind of human being do you find me to be based upon the fact that you know everything you know about me, but that I also collect pop figures?
fuck that. What race would you be in Lord of the Rings? No. Wait.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, what race do I? Because I kind of have my own answer.
So I kind of already talked about this with Alex. So and
I'm
I'm
I,
curious.
yeah, you'd be an
Off
ent.
pod, right?
Yeah, off pod.
Oh yeah, I said I'd
Ooh.
be an int. Yeah, I said I'd be one of the giant tree people. 'cause
Yeah,
I didn't-
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't want to say elvish because being elvish is fucking kind of weird in a way. It's almost like mildly Aryan racist.
And I agree with the Ent. I feel like that
I feel like
that
Ent's
fits
just
his
suits me.
personality pretty
Because
well.
I feel like dwarf would be the second best for me though, based upon
Oh,
what
yeah.
we've seen recently.
See, yeah, I was gonna say that he
Durs would 100% be an
dwarf vibe.
elf, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm
You are. What do you mean?
I-
Oh, yeah, dude,
I ain't trying to
no
die.
No one's
Bro,
seen our ears.
Yeah, but don't see
Right.
the ears.
Yeah.
It's
well,
the
no,
real
I take
tech.
off my headset to change my hat. And
Oh,
shit.
But they don't see the
I-
points because the camera resolution isn't
That's
good. You're
true, that's
welcome.
true.
Wait till I get 4 cameras, bitch, and then
Yeah.
you're exposed.
You don't know the pain I go through in
He's
makeup
your
before we get
dwarf.
on camera, okay?
See, it's see, audience like may wonder why Durs misses here and there. It's because elves feel time differently. You
Right,
fucking
the moon-
nincompoops.
the moon cycles are attuned to my ears.
Oh fuck, that's so funny.
Shit. What do you?
I'm
what,
sorry, Terrence.
what do you guys
That's
think?
way
IoT?
better. So what's Dur's Elvish name? What's his name in the foreign tongue?
Oh,
Oh
dude.
God,
Durstifer.
Durstifer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a
I made
phone.
Durzinar. I had an. It's funny that you say that because in WoW I did play
Oh, okay.
an elvish character that was a
Named
mage
Durs.
and was Durzinar.
Durzinar.
I was
That's
like,
it.
I'm lazy and I can't
That's
think of
it.
a
Is that your
name.
tribal name? Jesus.
Yeah, dude.
The motherland calls.
Yeah.
That's so funny, dude. Damn.
That's
Durs is
goofy.
an elf. So what would you be?
That's what I'm saying. What do you guys think?
Hmm.
I like
I feel like you'd be a human.
human.
Yeah, because I feel like humans
See,
are
I always
casted.
thought dwarf.
Nah, I don't see that for your
Okay,
behavior.
That's fair.
It's not about. It's not that you're not brash and beautiful like a dwarf could be. It's more that like I just don't see you being like this like statuous man who wants to go mine.
See,
I
but
feel
I
like
thought-
you want to fucking be like a guildsman.
Right, I feel like he's
man.
like a southern
I feel like you-
Gondorian
I
citizen.
feel like you're the lost prince of Numenor, my friend.
Okay, maybe we'll give him that. We'll give
The
him
island man.
Yes,
Yeah, you're
yes.
like a
Right,
royal
that's what I
blood
mean. Like,
lady.
That's
I
fair.
like the southern
Yeah. Ooh, the southern
Navy
blood.
people.
I'd be an island boy for sure.
island
I'm an
boy.
island boy.
All right, let's talk about the island boys of Numenor real quick. You guys caught up
Right.
on Rings of Power?
I am
Yes.
caught up
All
on Rings
right,
of
hey,
Power.
let's go. How are you feeling? Durs, I want to actually pick you first because you said last week, in particular, that you were feeling after the first 3 episodes, you were like, kind of too much
I've
exposition.
just been I've been
How
a
are you
bit
after
bored.
4?
I'm still kind of feeling that way, but I'm also not like I'm not super into I don't know all the lore for this, so I'm not
Okay.
like looking for
So-
the historical events
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just kind of
yeah.
going into it as
See, I think that's where my
very
bias comes in
casual
because I
user.
keep hearing the take on other pods I listen to that they're like, Rings of Power is fucking boring. Game of Thrones pretty cool this season, and I'm like,
Thrones is pretty nice.
let's not jump too fast. Let's get there. Let's get there the right way. Let's go through Rings of Power
But-
first, and
okay,
then we'll
yeah.
go to
okay,
Hot D.
okay,
I
okay.
promise, because I did catch up too.
because the
Um,
lore thing is very interesting.
Well, see, I think that's the thing for me. I'm so biased because I enjoy the older Tolkien books.
Yeah.
I enjoy
Mhm.
the Silmarillion. I know the names, and like Pharazôn being Pharazôn, I know who he is to become. Like that's what I was saying when this show came out, is that there is a certain path at which every character that is of written name must walk. Unwritten name characters, like Isildur's sister, she can do many cool things, right? But like Galadriel has a start and end point.
But like those side characters, they can do things, but it has to be within a certain bubble. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like they can't.
But Helbram and like
It's not like with Cobra Kai
right,
where you
and
can just
Aeon
write in
Wind.
new
Yeah, like, there's-
characters and attach
exactly
them.
you can't. That's the thing. So Pharazôn and then like his wife and then Galadriel and Durin and Elrond all have places they have to go,
Yeah.
right? Durin's, I'd say, of that lot like the least of the latched to something.
Yeah.
But the elves, like we know where they're going.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
know where Galadriel goes at the end. We know where Elrond's at.
Yeah.
We know who they become. So we know they experience
Right,
horrible
so it's
things.
more just
I-
making the journey of them coming
There
to
is
power
one
enjoyable.
yes, so that's part of it. But now there's one character I feel like that I get to enjoy authentically the most, and that is Isildur.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
Isildur, being that he's now kicked off the ship and he's like, I'm volunteering. We know he is to become the king of men of Gondor. Like his dad is going to be the first king, and he will be the second. We know that's where he's headed because he's the one who defeats Sauron in battle. So we know where we're headed to like an amazing place, which made me believe like this show is going to be a multi-seasonal thing.
Right,
It's going to be
I
probably
mean,
like 3
every-
or
it
4
just
seasons.
feels a lot
Everything
like a
is.
movie. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, when
Every
I'm
episode
watching it, it
does.
feels.
But I feel like if I watched it as a movie, it would be even more boring than it is.
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
And
I
that's why-
agree.
This is why the Silmarillion, I always say this about reading the book, is that you have to read it like in very small doses because it's like reading an ancient tongue more than
Mhm.
it is reading.
Well, and
something
it's more
palatable
just
or
like a
watchable or
bullet point of
enjoyable.
events. You know, it's like
Exactly.
these
So
people
we're
were
trying to fill
here
in
at
the
this
gaps
time
now.
and they
Yeah.
did such and such.
I'm
and then that's
excited
it, you
because
know?
what's about to happen is we're going to see, like, I know they keep showing the signs of Numenor falling with the tree,
Yeah.
but like where we're headed is that Pharazôn's gonna like. I don't want to like spoil Lord of the Rings lore, but do you guys care?
No.
I mean, not particularly. It really hasn't captured me, if I'm honest.
Okay, that's no.
I'm watching
respectable.
it, but it's
So
it's
Farazan is
tough.
the king consort right now. He's just the consort. He's not the actual king,
Mhm.
right? But when he goes to Middle Earth now, which he's going to go and lead the men, or should, he's going to become the last king of men when he returns. And Sauron will be his advisor because he was his prisoner prior. And then he works his way up socially.
Mm.
We're headed somewhere. I don't know if Adar is guaranteed Sauron. He might just be.
Okay.
We might, because Adar means father. Sauron likely made the orcs
Yeah.
because he made them as a cruel image of
Right.
the elves.
The origin of the
Oh,
orcs
that's
is
He
never
himself
really
looks
fully
like an elf.
explained.
He might be an elf. He
But-
might not be. He might be Sauron in disguise.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's lots of things that could be Sauron.
That's
Yeah, so I'm
interesting.
still interested, but right now, like I said, it's just I'm having a tough time, and I will say it is tough with the dichotomy between Hot D, which is where we're gonna head next.
Let's go.
Is like it's been so good and like
It's good.
action packed and nuts, and I mean they're really pumping the timeline and they're moving shit along. And
So this is where my real opinion for the whole two dichotomy before we transition fully into Hot D
Mhm.
comes
Yeah.
in. I realized this right before you got here and almost saw me in the nude.
right,
That was a
barging
weird,
in.
weird backstory. We won't catch. There's up on the 10-foot pole YouTube. But basically,
That just makes
What
it sound
I
more
think-
sus.
it does. It does. It does make it sound sus, but we're gonna leave it at that. The ambiguity is funny. My whole opinion on the two shows is that while I do enjoy Rings of Power probably more surface, like bar for bar, it's like, I enjoy like 85% versus 84.
Mhm.
And the reason why is because I have an attachment to it and I like what
Right,
it
yeah.
offers to me. And I like what to know. I have ideas of where it's going, so how it's going to get there is what really interests me. And then seeing other characters who've had very little development, like a Isildur particularly, really interests me.
Right, I can understand that. That's the same view
But
I had of looking
Game of Thrones has characters that are all constantly plot moving threads
Yeah.
that all have their own interests, and you don't always have a clear read on any of them.
That's
Yep.
that's Game of
and
Thrones' strength.
that is why
Yeah,
it is
That's
so
why it's so
compelling.
intriguing to watch.
'Cause
yeah.
it-
You don't
that-
know where it's going to go next.
That's
You don't
always
know who's
been
going to do what.
That's always been George's MO, his subversion of our expectations.
And let me
right?
tell you, man, that brutal murder at the end.
Right, I
Holy shit! I did
Oh.
not expect it to be Sir Creston
I
Cole murdering him
I
in cold
didn't-
blood for that statement.
and now that we're moving into Hot D, I was kind of annoyed by that because one, they always fucking kill the gay character as soon as they show up.
I didn't think
always,
about that. I was
always.
just like, damn, dude.
Literally, he's on screen for like 20 seconds in the fucking show, and people were raging on Twitter
gotta
last
stop
night. Let me
doing
tell
that.
you. Let me tell you, the gay community
Ooh,
was
Hot-
up in arms.
Did Hot D Twitter eclipse NFL Twitter later in the evening?
It did. I at least got a couple
Fuck
tweets.
no. What?
We'll cover NFL
those
Twitter in a
games-
minute.
Those games last night were not very exciting. Hot D Twitter. was
Oh,
hot.
wait, last night or do you mean Sunday?
Oh, on Sunday, no.
Sunday.
NFL Twitter is always
Okay.
untouched.
Yeah,
But-
no, I always okay,
Yesterday,
my
some
reference
leaked
point
through.
for things is that Twitter can't be like. I don't think Twitter gets really that popping within the first 2 hours of something coming out,
Yeah.
and then people like
Yeah.
reacting. I think it gets really popular within the next 12 because people wake up in other countries and watch it.
Right, or
And then
people are
there's
at
global
work, or
popularity.
like, you got to
Well,
get through half a
EU's
cycle.
a huge
you
part
know?
of Twitter interaction.
Yeah.
So NA and EU both matter there. So that's why I think it's really critical
Yeah.
because people are watching in the morning. So there's usually a couple hours lag.
But yeah, are we all caught up then? I guess so. 'cause
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
not
Yes.
seen him
Yeah.
dead.
Well,
yet.
okay, actually, still didn't watch 4, but did watch 5 because I
Okay.
didn't need to see shit in 4. I already saw it in the preview.
Wait.
We talked about it. The incestu episode.
Oh,
Yeah, you
didn't-
really
Oh,
didn't
you
miss-
didn't watch that one.
No, but
whole
I
lot.
literally got everything I needed to know out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
She
yeah.
didn't bed Damon, but like almost kind of did, and then she did bed Sir Creston Cole, and then Otto Hightower got fucking demoted.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna get a time skip. Thank fucking God. This is what I've been waiting for the whole fucking time.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm waiting for this part. I like it.
It's gonna and now I feel like it gets really spicy because it's not just we've been so focused on
We
King's
got
Landing.
kids.
We were like only on King's Landing, right? And that's how like the whole show has been pretty much. It's just like
Yep.
Yeah.
zoomed in on them. Now like when shit starts hitting the fan because we know there's gonna be a civil war over who's
Yeah.
gonna be king and which one of these kids is gonna take the throne.
And we know
or,
which one is.
or
who
some
is.
or people are gonna get assassinated.
So do you
like-
think that in much like that where you enjoy some of the lore of things, and you
So-
know where certain people are going to go and where they're going to land, being like Aegon the Second is the
it
Mad
does help.
King.
What I was going to bring up earlier in your point to Lord of the Rings is when I was watching Amazon's other series they did for Wheel of Time, which
Yes.
is an awful series. Anybody listening,
Yeah,
do
I've
not
heard
go watch that for your
Many
own
people I
fucking
know who watch
sanity.
say the same
Anyway,
thing.
but I went into that knowing where all the characters were going to go and knowing where, and so same sort of thing. It made me more interested for longer than I think I should have been. You know what I mean? Like it was a terrible
Absolutely.
show, whereas Lord of the Rings is not
Lord of the Rings is.
It's not.
I think the biggest criticism is that it's a $1 billion show and that it's this boring.
The
Yeah.
writing
the
is
core-
very
that's like
bad
the
for
base
a $1 billion
it does
show.
look
I will
beautiful.
say it looks amazing. The set pieces, the
Does
storyline.
this really agree then that would you guys say like Tolkien's maybe not the best writer ever?
Well, no,
They're not- I mean,
listen.
Tolkien's a great world
listen,
builder. He's not a
listen,
great writer.
Listen, you
And all these things are based off cliff notes.
Oh.
Some people are
No, no.
writing. Hang on.
Yeah.
So hang on. His word craft is amazing, right? But it's mostly with the made up shit he created
Yeah.
that makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So my point is that it's not someone who's using like traditional, regular, non-existent word, just casually existent words
Mm-hmm.
to write purely. So what I'm saying is that, especially if you're taking from the context of the Silmarillion and things of the like, where it's unfinished like tales, and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
then you are already working from patchwork pieces, and it's not necessarily just that Tolkien itself. Like it's good writing, but it's the people also that are in charge.
Well, but I wouldn't even say that because, like, for example, like the speech that Theoden gives at the very end of the third movie in the Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
That, like, not exactly taken from the book, but the spirit of the words that Tolkien uses in the books is what makes that movement
What,
so
just drop
good.
like the N word and stuff?
No,
no,
but like
it's H.P. Lovecraft.
it's
guys.
Oh, yeah,
it's
my
actually.
bad,
I
my
mean,
bad.
it's like like if you listen to the speech, he did a recording of it way long ago where
No,
he was talking it like just
I know what you're talking.
going through like basically like, here's the last charge of men, we're all gonna die, nobody gives a shit, like we're gonna feast in their blood tonight if we
Yeah.
all survive. Like it's like wild, and then they charge. Like I think his speech craft is better than his writing ability even. Like I think spoken the books come out better
So-
as spoken because of all the stupid music he put in there.
True.
I mean, well, I just think like Tolkien kind of wrote the script on fantasy, like as a genre, right? Like
Yeah, I mean, we all agreed that like there's
So, like,
even certain
that-
races that
it's-
get maligned purely
Right,
because
and,
of
and the
malignance of how
industrialism
he wrote
slant
them.
and everything.
Yeah,
like,
and, like,
Yes.
all of that
and
is very
Orcs and
Tolkien.
goblins immediately get malignified in many forms of media purely
And,
because
like-
of how Tolkien wrote them in the first
and like
place. Yes.
eventually there's always going to be improvements on those fantasies, like different takes on, like it's just like
Well, I also shout out to the guy in the comments who's likely like, the Brothers Grimm wrote other stories before Tolkien. Oh, shut up.
okay,
Mm-mm.
yeah.
But either way, the point I think is that the modern fantasy genre spawned from the Tolkien's world.
That's what
And-
I'm
and we
getting at.
absolutely have all agreed on that before, and we agree now for sure.
And so with that being said, like fantasy will just improve, you know what I mean? Like that's just how it is. Like
True.
you can't run the same game scripts you did in like sports you did 100 years ago today.
So I think that where we're getting with this is that Game of Thrones plot good, but visuals of Lord of the Ring also really good.
Yeah. So I think one reason we were talking about the lore and everything, right?
Either
I think it's recency bias as well, because like I haven't watched the trilogy. I like love the series growing up and everything, but I haven't watched the movies and I never read any of the books. So, like, I had to think about who Elrond was in the original movies.
I respect
re-
your analysis of your own like opinion there. I
Yeah.
really do. That's good of you to be able to look at that and go,
Yeah.
yeah, recency bias can maybe fucking
Like
me up.
if you ask me about Hot D, I can tell you this is based on the Dance of Dragons, and there's an
Right.
episode where Stannis' daughter was telling
Yeah.
his like King's Hand about it when
Yeah.
she used that book to teach him how to read.
Right.
So like just remembering shit like that about Hot D, I'm gonna obviously
See,
like,
that's like Harry
gravitate
Potter
towards it.
movie fan level stuff where you remember just the episode shit. Whereas like I've read like some of the books and I've read more of the lore and
Mm-hmm.
wikis for Game of Thrones than I have appreciated the series in these little moments of like, you remember when we watched that
Yeah.
8 years ago? You
Well,
know what I mean?
it
I mean, it was
also-
also a cultural phenomenon for TV.
it also
Breaking
helps
Bad's a better television show.
that like people like are posting shorts of like Game of Thrones and shit like that on TikTok. Like it's everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
You'll always see that, but like I don't really see that much for like the original trilogy and like older Hobbit or like Lord of the Rings stuff.
I mean, there's a lot of like OG internet memes that are
Yeah,
like
yeah.
one does not simply walk into like that meme is
The
still used
potatoes
everywhere.
song.
Or the taters thing,
Yeah.
or the
Yeah,
I mean,
but
there's
like,
a lot of
nobody's like taking clips from the movie and like
No,
putting
Lord of the
bass
Rings- Lord of the-
music behind it
No,
and shit
but-
like that.
But you'll see. I mean, I've
You
even
shall
seen
not
that with.
pass.
I will say that is the difference. I have not seen very many memes about Lord of the Rings
Well,
compared to
so
Hot
let's-
D,
let's-
and that
let's-
may be an
well,
Amazon
let's talk
marketing
about-
ploy. But
I agree with you, but let's break down this idea we just explained. Right, it's a 20-year ago movie.
Yeah.
Right, literally a 20-year-old like set of
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Okay, so those obviously have less exposure. Like they're great movies.
Yeah.
They're
yeah,
available.
we're old now.
We can actually shut up. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But you can also watch them on Twitch watch parties. Did you know that? Yeah,
Oh, that's
badass.
neat.
I could watch the whole trilogy on Twitch.
Yeah.
Well, I
That
mean,
one's
I
it.
was just watching the third movie before I came here.
It's
to be
cool
fair.
that
Shut
you
up.
can do that because
Nice,
Amazon
dude.
just owns Twitch now.
Truge.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, that's sick. But with what you're saying, I think the era in which they were created, like memes were created in a popular level, maybe 3 to 4 years after.
Well, now
yeah,
today's
right.
kids probably don't have the same reverence for Lord of the Rings that we do.
Bingo.
You know, like
But
they,
what
they,
has been around since they were kids? Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Game of Thrones
For
has
like
always
10
been
years of their
Yeah.
childhoods, it was going around.
I
Their parents were
could-
watching it. Oh, you can't watch this till you're
I
older.
could
Right,
pull
yep.
out.
And now they're watching this, and now they're watching this series. And now we have like 20-year-olds, right? Who, when the first Game of Thrones season came out, they were like maybe, 9,
Yeah.
10? Right. With that in mind, they've grown up with that series
Mm-hmm.
in a recency bias that also makes. Here's the thing: tastemakers are what, 13 to fucking 25-year-olds?
Yeah.
Realistically, that is the tastemaker.
Honestly, I think tastemakers these days is like senior in high school to like 2 years out of college, and that's it. After that, you're like out of touch.
No. That's
think
like that's
I-
like what's relevantly cool with popular culture when you're like a young adult. But I'm saying tastemakers, like what pops off on YouTube, what pops off on.
I would even
television
say
programming.
YouTube still skews young. Like
Listen,
you're still
listen,
gonna get that
every-
age group. I mean, maybe
every-
a little younger than I said for YouTube
13 to 25.
specifically.
Right.
Every popular,
But
like,
everything else, I would say, is you're gonna have to.
I
raise
get
it a
what
little
you're
more.
saying.
So-
I realized when I talked to a lot of my cousins who are literally those ages of like
Mhm.
I'd say 11's the youngest and then the oldest is like 17. I realized how much shit they all like that's similar, but then also took a lot of adults. Like I heard a lot of Valorant is cool, and I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, a lot of young kids play Valorant.
I feel like all the
Just to see if
biggest
it's
like
too hard.
streamers and YouTubers though are like somewhere between the ages of like 22 to 30. You know, like Ludwig, OTV.
Well, I think
20
it's kind of
Ludwig's
interesting. We should
27?
talk about that. What do you guys think about the?
Oh, this
the-
is actually
the
a good
age
segue.
up of Twitch creators over time. Like,
We'll talk about this, then we have to talk about the drama.
yeah, we'll talk
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
drama,
yeah,
but
we
but
have
first up,
to.
let's talk about like, cause like when
What do you mean the age up?
so it's kind of changed.
Like as it's
it-
become a
it used-
career,
right,
people are
yeah.
just like
So you mean like Lily Pichu, Disguised Toast, and like people like that who are old,
Right.
Or
Yeah,
you
yeah.
mean like
no, I mean people
who
who've been
are
doing
young?
it for that long. So like,
Oh,
so it,
yeah.
it used
Soda
to be
poppin'.
when it first started, right? When it first started, people who were like
18.
18 or
19.
like
Yeah.
maybe they were going to college and they stopped and they started streaming, whatever it was. That
they
used to
got
be the
cracked
kind
at a
of
game.
Yep.
right. They got cracked at
Myth.
a game. They started streaming, that sort of thing,
Mhm.
and that still kind of it's like happens every
Toast
now and
in
then.
Hearthstone.
But like, I
Just
feel like
Chatting
it's
section
there's
is
a
more-
lot more people these days joining that are like older, near our age, where it's like
Yeah, like me.
late 20s or whatever who are get into
Yeah,
content
29
creation
last year, and
somehow.
I was like, time to make Twitch stream and then do YouTube videos.
Hey, why
Yeah.
not?
That's-
What else is there to do?
Exactly.
You
Like,
know?
no, I mean, it's also like something I've
Something
always.
what I want to do.
Okay, so here's where my idea of wanting to start making content came from. When I was 9, I made a book report using the Harry Potter Lego castle that I had for reading the Sorcerer's Stone. So I told the
That's
plot
lit.
with that in a video camera. Like I got it all together. Like I've edited a video a long time ago in Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah.
Nothing special,
pull
right?
out the
Yeah.
movie maker.
So that's why when I came back, I was like, I have to learn a lot of things.
What,
again.
you
I'm
weren't
like,
using
wait.
Streamlabs when you were like 9?
Yeah, dude, because Streamlabs was around 21
Right.
years ago. Anyways. Yeah, so I just basically like thought about that. I was like, damn, like that's been so long since I've done something like that, but I had so much fun doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always got like, I mean, I got really good grades as a kid. Not
Yeah.
like just like a 9-year-old, but I mean like as I grew up too.
Yeah.
But when I did something like that,
big A
like,
student over here.
getting like 100% on a project that you like really liked.
Yeah,
right
no,
away,
that
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah.
put
that's
your
like you're
effort
just like
into.
fuck
Yeah.
yeah, and you just got that you nailed that shit.
Yeah,
Felt great. I was in 3rd grade, but still, it's fucking awesome.
yeah.
And that's like where I was like, damn, I want to make video again. I want to do something with that. And then streaming's been like an idea for a long time, but
Well,
it
it's
didn't
just one of
happen.
those things that's like it's
Well,
fun
Discord
to do, you know?
curbed the need to a degree because you're playing with your friends, right? And like stream
Yeah.
the game, so you stream the game, it's fine. But when a Nintendo Switch came into the picture, trying to play a game on there, it's really impossible to talk and play the game audio because you have to use your input.
Yeah, your in-game mic
Yep.
audio.
Yep. So
Yeah.
you can't use mic then to have your friends listen to your game, and that sounds
Right.
like shit. So it's like, well, I might as well just make it streaming, and then from there it's been great. It's been
Yeah.
awesome. But I think what it is that like we had a huge boom with COVID too.
Mm-hmm.
People
Right.
stayed
Yeah,
inside, and that
COVID was
became
huge.
people became way more aware of what Twitch was. Live streaming became a more popular thing because you're passing your time throughout the day, and then drops too. Like Valorant got dropped through fucking Twitch. So if you wanted access to the game for the beta, you needed to watch X amount of hours.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, like I just think there's just so much more incentive for gamers to be watching a
Yeah.
live stream.
That's one, and I feel like a lot of people have more access to computers now, whereas back in the day, like having
Oh, yeah.
a setup that could
Everyone's
run
got a computer. Everyone's got a
Streamlabs and
phone,
could run like an audio deck, etc.
etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was way harder back in the day, and now it's like super dumb easy.
Well, and
Mhm.
shit's a lot cheaper too. Like, I mean, even
It is.
as much as we complain about graphics card prices, like
I haven't.
you can buy. I mean,
I waited till the
moan
bubble
a little
popped.
bit, but
I
it's
waited till
like-
the bubble popped last year, and then I bought a pre-build with the lower bubble pop.
I mean, I bought
card,
mine,
so.
right before
Yeah.
the bubble, so I was like, I don't care
Hey.
too much. But it's like, as much as I complain about it, things are still like you can buy an insanely fast graphics card for like nothing at all. You just don't have.
Well, people always want to say they want the 3080 Ti or the 3090, and they can just get a 3070. They just don't,
Or you could even get a 2070 Super, and you could still be fine. Like that's what I run in my computer. I'll probably still run it for 5 more years. Like
Yeah.
I haven't had any issues on any game.
absolutely.
Like I feel like we've reached a point where it's like, what are you going to upgrade?
Yeah, I
now?
have weird issues with the games. I just have like weird like system.
Well, I mean,
issues.
VR is probably the direction people are gonna try to go.
Fuck VR.
Honestly, I'm on the fuck VR train as well
I-
because
I literally have to get a contact subscription to be able to play VR.
Yeah.
I can't wear glasses.
or
in
you
VR.
have to
So-
go through Facebook and
So
buy off their
there's
marketplace.
this like VR game called like Monkey Tag or something. I don't know. It's
Bro,
called-
there are actual cool VR games out
Yeah.
there, but I will never play them.
Oh yeah, well it's just what it's getting to the point that you're making. It's like I don't know how kids and like shit will play these games and not get nauseous. Because like that game in particular, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's monkeys playing tag, and you literally are jumping and climbing, like
Yeah, running
swinging
around.
diving to the ground, grabbing a vine, like
Well, it's not even that, but it's like VR is in the same spot as I was just talking about, where it's just now become less expensive. But in order to get the less expensive versions, you have to be in bed with a company like Facebook or I mean, Oculus. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
if
I
they're
don't wanna
terrible either. Or
use
did they buy?
Meta.
I think Facebook bought Oculus. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they did.
But anyway, there's a couple different ones, but it's all the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a gimmick and it's fun to like go over to somebody's house and use like, oh,
Nah,
neat
I
VR,
have one good
stand
gimmick.
on the little thing over the
Nah,
skyscraper.
Fuck all that. I hate all the dumb shit with actual VR headsets. There has been one VR thing I've ever enjoyed though.
what?
Okay.
Do you guys remember, like, I don't know, 7-8 years ago when Six Flags had that VR roller coaster, the
Oh,
Ninja
yeah, the
with VR
Ninja.
headset?
Yeah, bro.
No,
I
I don't
remember
remember
that.
that.
You put it on and then you rode the roller coaster while you wore the VR headset.
And it would be like a
Really?
it was like
And
a
it was like-
cyberpunk.
It was like a cyberpunk
Wow,
like
that
alien
would be
battle
kinda
thing.
dope.
It was really cool
Yeah,
actually.
it was sick.
Because the Ninja's fun.
Because your
but, like,
body
spicing
still
up the
reacts
Ninja-
to
Right,
the
yeah,
drops.
yeah,
and
right, yeah,
everything.
because you still feel
Well, like
everything.
the track matches everything you're doing.
Yeah.
You're just like in a jet, like flying through the sky. and
This
doing
is
these
so
yeah,
cool
that's
funny.
still
motions.
sick though. I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
That was the one cool use of VR I ever saw.
My buddy, when he first got his VR headset, we
Yeah.
literally spent like 8 hours getting stoned and watching VR roller coaster videos.
right, and that's dope.
Now, see, that is cool because VR. Because I will say the VR coaster videos you can see that are like not the VR, like it's the non-VR versions on YouTube.
Yeah.
They're fun to watch.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched like Japanese like city night drive videos?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're very relaxing.
Yeah.
That sounds
A
interesting.
night drive through Shibuya.
Yeah.
Very good.
No, but I think this is what the VR industry has always been afraid to admit is that their most profitable market is always going to be in porn.
I mean,
I really do think that the only market that anybody
I'd have
is
to get
going
on the hub and look at like the algorithm.
I mean, not-
versus like no, like honestly, I'd
I'm
have to
saying
look and see
I would
what.
try it. I'd be curious.
Well, what's the
Why
what-
not?
Well, what's like the view count on a?
would you
V-
buy a
hang
VR
on.
headset just to spank it?
No,
Why not?
Yeah.
No,
I would not.
watch a POV
If,
video.
if
get
it
the
also
fuck
could
over
play
it.
games,
Yeah, no, I still wouldn't. Not
Would you VR in horny and games?
Yeah, dude. You can play horny games.
gamers. No, but I'm serious. I really think that they would make more
Newgrounds.com,
money
you
off
call
that
it.
than games.
The typing.
All right. Let's go back to Twitch really quick and let's talk about the Twitch drama this week.
Right.
Because holy shit, has it been a drama week?
I mean, what do we want to start with, the gambling or mid?
We're gonna we start with the linear like way it all
Okay,
went,
okay,
Yeah, please do because I don't.
I will
really
give you
know
the
what
full. I will
happened
give everyone
today.
the full rundown of everything that I know because I did a
Okay.
lot of studying today because I had some stuff to do
Yeah.
for the baby and shit. So we were traveling at one point, and I was like, "Well, I can look at LSF now."
Yeah.
And like, let me tell you, LSF is lit. Over 100K members watching on
What's
Reddit.
LSF?
Live stream
Live stream
fails.
Oh,
Yes. Okay. So it is typically a pretty toxic community due to drama farmers and people who just want to like talk about what streamers are doing that's
It's
dramatic.
always
And it's
toxic.
usually trash, but like this week, what has happened is just insane. So it starts off with a little guy named one XQC, the largest Twitch streamer in the world individually. Okay? So XQC, a couple weeks back, when Cutie Cinderella, Ludwig's girlfriend, had hosted Shit Camp, which is an event of 20 streamers who are living in like a cabin like thing, like situation, right? and there's all these different streams, and they're coordinated like who streams on what day and what event, so everyone gets views.
Of course.
But then also you have all these cool things, like they have like one of those giant
Is this like the
inflatable,
offline TV going and camping in the woods thing?
Yes, but it was not offline TV. It was just all the other people.
Okay, yeah.
Either way.
Okay.
So like instead
Same
of camping
thing.
in the woods, they're like doing like here's the tire swing, like rope swing thing, and here's like the giant like inflatable thing. One person jumps on, the other person gets launched, and
Yeah.
like there's go karts, and there's
Yeah.
like all these fun activities they planned, right? So XQC day before event says he's not going on stream, which and he says he's not going because Soda's not going to be
That's
there
funny as
because
fuck.
Soda Poppin' he's like fun, and if he's not going to be there, it's not going to be whatever. So
Oh
he
wait, so
doesn't
his
go.
boys weren't gonna show
Yeah.
up. So hey, he rides with the boys.
Hang on. It
How-
gets, XQC is through is
His
in all
boys
of the
couldn't
drama
go.
for the record. Like
Oh yeah, he
and
always is.
whether
sure,
he is the
sure.
pinnacle of the point of the drama, he is involved in some way throughout the rest of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to the largest streamer on Twitch. Baby.
Getting
Okay.
his hands and everything.
So that was weeks ago. This week, there was a clip that was going on LSF, and it was someone made I think it's Natcat, I want to say maybe or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Some other name. They had a podcast, but they had Soda Poppin' on. Soda Poppin' said in a clip that he had told EM, like, apostrophe, weeks before that he was not attending.
Mhm.
So what he meant by that, directly in the clip, was Cutie Cinderella and Ludwig.
Yeah.
He let them know that he would not be attending.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's an appropriate communication. XQC does not do that. He does not compute communicating appropriately and letting people know on time or in a nice
He
way.
just says
He's
on
stuck
stream,
in-
nah, I ain't
He's
going.
literally stuck in rank chat. Like that's just how he talks.
So
like
true. So X
Oh, God.
then sees this clip on LSF and feels pressured by chat being like in his face because he's a 60K
So he goes
viewer.
anyway.
And he doesn't go anyway because this is weeks ago. It's already over. He hasn't gone because it's already it
Oh,
didn't
okay.
happen. So he sees this clip talking about this, and he thinks that what he's saying is that he told XQC he wasn't going. So then XQC felt pressured to speak on that. So then what XQC does instead is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
of course.
Right.
This
as he's
at this
known to
point in
do.
the week of Twitch, where he reveals that it wasn't because Soda wasn't really going. It was because him and Adept, his girlfriend, broke up.
Mm.
And he leaked all of the drama. He was like, yeah, we broke up, just didn't work out.
Didn't
like,
they
all
have an
the
argument
family
on
stuff.
stream?
Yes. And this is where the drama progresses.
Oh my
So next it comes around that she sees that he's done this and he's leaked this information, and she's just like, that is not what has happened. And like all this. And then she starts like he starts saying things right on stream that she had basically for over a week and a half been saying like, please do not talk about this publicly. We need our time to like be people.
Right, not be on stream.
And not be on stream with our drama of our relationship. And then he starts like talking about stuff. So then she starts having to like argue against it. And there's like a whole like hour and a half long VOD of her like talking on her stream of like an 8-hour stream. So it's like the back end of it where she's talking about
God damn,
everything
bro.
and like trying to like, damage control essentially what XQC is doing. But he's also like doing things actively at the same time as
He's
her.
to like
so
rile up his
dumb.
and
chat,
he's
I'm
like,
sure.
and yes, and they're like,
He's
and they're
dumb.
clipping things and she's clipping, like they're both clipping things, not both streamers, both chats.
Yeah.
So they're all ending up in LSF. So they're both seeing each other on LSF, or they're seeing these other things. So it's inflaming the situation, right? But basically results in like XQC's family is toxic.
Yeah.
And they are doing this toxic thing. There's some event that happened where like
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, apparently.
whatever. And then basically it's like he's like, what do you want me to do? Choose you over my family? And she's just
the
like,
shit
oh
zebra
my
can't
God.
change its
So-
shit stripes, Randy.
Yeah.
XQC and her breakup, whatever. It's like the hottest drama on LSF in months.
Yeah.
Like it's up to 60 or 70K people on LSF. at
Yeah,
this
it's just
point,
like
right?
when fucking
It
Desperate
had been
Housewives
down to
does
like
something.
it
It's
had been
just
down to like
dumb
20 or
reality
30K for a
TV.
long time. So it was like people in the drama community were getting farmed on and like laughing at him in the past because like, oh my God, drama farmers, fucking losers, right? Now it's like, oh my God, there's so much drama. Who's not farming it?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first day and a half of all the drama. The next day, it is revealed that Slicker, who is he's an Arabic English streamer.
Sure.
He's like friends with Ms. Kiffer. He's been around this group. He knows a lot of people. You've seen him probably on some streams here and there. It revealed basically that he's been scamming people out of money.
How so?
He was asking them for like $1,000 or $2,000. And he would just be like, hey man, my bank account's getting locked up. I can't get money. I can pay you
think
back.
He asked Dominate too.
He asked
much
a lot.
did he
Yes, he had up to 300K. Couple people. One guy who's an Omegle YouTuber who's not super big on Twitch, but he's
That's
huge
one
on
of the
Oh, yeah,
cleanest
he had
tricks I've
20.
ever
He
seen.
had 28K. He got from him. He got about almost 30K from a cancer patient. Yeah, he got people for a lot of money, like a lot of money.
And he's still streaming.
Not really. I mean, yes, but not really. He's
That's
taking some time
wild.
off, but like so he got confronted basically by Mizkif, because basically it was like this thing that people were saying like over the weekend. It basically someone said it at a party,
Right,
over the
like,
weekend.
I owe him money, and
and then everyone in the room started being like, "Oh, he
I
asked
owe him
me for
money
money.
too."
Either he owes me money, or I have
Oh
been
my
asked
God.
by him, or he's
Yeah.
taken X from me, like whatever."
Yeah.
So that was revealed, and that was like a huge controversy. So it came forth that like Trainwreck was not defending him, but being like, "Yeah, this is awful, and I'm not surprised Slicker has done this. I've gave him 20K before." And like help him like wipe his debt and like get
I
back
mean,
in
hey,
good shape, and then he fucks it up again.
I'm
and
not
whatever.
saying anything against you guys, but where's
So-
my 20K?
Yeah,
I don't,
right.
you know,
Right.
this guy is just some random gump, and he's getting money from all these people.
I mean,
like, what's
he has
going
a
on?
platform. He's been notoriously
but, like,
funny on
why
the
did he-
Austin show.
How can these people not verify that he doesn't need the money?
Well,
I
because
mean,
no one's talking to each other about it. Because no
I
one wants
guess.
no one wants to talk about personal wealth like that.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's an awkward.
it's an awkward
I get how
conversation.
it could just like
Yeah.
slip out
So
of mention,
XQC comes in with another thing. He's like saying like, "Hey, the Slicker thing's like, you know what? This is fucked up. It happened to me too. But like, also like, we need to remember like he's a person. He needs help, and he's in a really bad spot right now. So we need to pay everybody back. So XQC and Trainwreck, like I think Train came with the idea first, but then XQC too also says I'll match everything
Yeah.
to pay back as many people as they can."
Why?
Because they want these people to get their money back, so then Slicker can get help and he can be out of that debt. Because having him in debt and sending him to jail is not going to help him. He's addicted. So they're
mean-
saying we have all this money in our wealth. XUC's got plenty of money. Train's got a ton of money too. If they want to help their friend, that's on them. I respect the fuck out of them for saying like we have gambling issues ourselves, and
But-
we have been in bad places in our
Is
lives.
he using the money to gamble? Is that part of it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sports
okay,
betting.
Okay.
Sports betting, and
yeah,
then
I didn't hear that
slots.
part. That makes more sense. I
He's
thought
doing
he was just
slots.
taking the
He's
money
doing
for
slots
whatever,
on stream, and he's doing sports betting off stream.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So
he's down
gambling
bad.
streamer.
He's
okay.
he wasn't a gambling streamer, but he is now.
Gotcha.
essentially.
Okay.
He's
okay.
been
So
labeled
that
as
makes
one.
more sense. I
So
can
he's been
understand that
stealing to
perspective
gamble
then.
essentially, and like he also is like almost Ponzi scheming, where he's paying people back with other money he's borrowed from other people.
Right. So he's
So-
just yeah.
Train and XQC both say like I've been down before. I've had issues with gambling before. I am trying to be better than I am before, and my friend is also going through the same thing, and he's even worse than I've ever seen anyone. Like, let's get them out of this hole, so that way we can get him into therapy and like get him healed, right? So that's what they're doing. If that's white knighty or whatever you want to call it, that's like fine. So the Slicker drama happens, but then Mizkif says something fucking stupid about Trainwreck.
He deleted it, I'm pretty sure.
No. We'll cover that. But like, he just says something smart offy to Trainwreck, right? So Trainwreck comes back with like, "Fuck you, Mizkif, for being someone who's covered up a sexual assault."
Oh, and then that's when that.
And
comes
then
into
this
play.
comes into play now. So basically, it comes into play that Trainwreck reveals that like, which this is actually a known thing, and I kind of knew about it too. There's this streamer, I can't remember her name right now, and I'm not trying to forget it for the sake of putting down her, like she's a victim, very much so. But
Mhm.
basically the story goes like she's at this party, she's really drunk, she's with friends. Slick keeps trying to like grope her possibly, or whatever the case you want to call it. He said he was checking her pulse, but it happened multiple times. A lot of people saw it. It was multiple things, so it's pretty bad. There's like this whole thing of apparently like Mrs. X Maya going to like talk to her with Ms. Kiff, and going to talk to like with Mitch Jones, who was her friend,
Right, as like damage control.
as
like,
damage control. So there's possibly like they're covering this up. I don't think that's really what it was. I'm gonna say like covering it up is not what their intention was.
No.
I think because they went to her and that they wanted to communicate with her. I think it did get covered up and swept under the rug too fast, because I do actually remember this coming out about how he was a creep,
Yeah.
and he took time off and he like went away. And now I will say, I think what has been spoken mostly from her, because she spoke directly with like Moist, she spoke directly with Hassan, she spoke directly with,
Sheesh.
she's speaking with anybody who wants like, I have questions. She'll speak with them directly. She has no problem getting on stream and doing that.
Okay.
So she's been doing that, and she's happy to be able to advocate. Train knew for a little bit, but not like super well. But I think he like had his own like understanding
He
of the
probably wasn't
situation,
there.
and he wasn't. No, he wasn't at all.
Yeah.
And it was very much the people who knew. They didn't speak on it, likely because of her not wanting them to speak on it at the time.
right.
No,
yeah.
that's fair.
And that's in defense of XQC and Train in the situation where they kind of knew, but XQC kind of came off like he was trying to get revenge on the situation for like shitty commenting and backstabbingness from Mizkif and other people in that social circle. So then it got really interesting when Ice Poseidon,
Right,
his
that-
old boss, who was a banned Twitch streamer and banned YouTuber possibly even too.
And just a banned human in
He's-
general. 'cause
Yeah,
he
he
sucks.
did a crypto scam not too long ago actually, but basically he got banned off Twitch. He was the guy who did the RV stream in 2017, which then made Mizkif's
Oh, he
career.
did all sorts
He
of
literally
wild
was the
shit.
cameraman for Mizkif. Like Mizkif was the cameraman for Ice Poseidon on
Yeah.
this stream. There was an infamous like whole thing. But Ice Poseidon posts screenshots of him in like 2018 saying slurs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is to expose him. It's like, I made you, I can take you out or whatever, blah blah blah. So he posts all those. Now here's my thought on that. Like, while I don't love to see that Miz is saying slurs there in 2018, Miz has openly like 3 times as a Miz viewer. Like, I know he has openly 3 times been like, yeah, I used to say stuff like that in 2018, and then there was one day where I realized and stopped doing these things. He has openly talked about that. I'm not saying that makes any excuses for it, because he's of ridicule when you're a 20K viewer like streamer. Like, you can get that ridicule, you'll get that smoke. Some people aren't going to care. I personally can say that like I wasn't the best person 5 to 10 years ago with my speech, and I definitely have done improvement of my speech over time as well.
Yeah.
So like I have a certain empathic like nature towards whatever's going on with him. Like, yeah, he's definitely talked about this before though. Like, he's definitely mentioned that like, I used to not be the best. This is an example of it. So I think this isn't anything new there, but it's huge for people to see it on paper and not just have him like saying that he acknowledges he used to be worse.
Mm-hmm.
So what will come of that and canceling Mizkif? I mean,
I just think it's interesting.
Whatever.
The persona he puts on stream just makes him seem like he's that kind of person still. That's just what. I'm with you there on the everybody can change, and I've definitely done the same.
I mean, people are
I
not
just
great
don't
people
think his
behind closed
personality.
doors.
Well, I know, but the persona that he puts on isn't
Yep.
even particularly nice. So I wasn't that surprised when behind the scenes he's not a nice guy either.
I mean, also I'm gonna say this, like Miz lately, just I'm more of a Miz YouTube frog than I am a live catcher.
Yeah.
Unless it's something really.
Yeah,
cool
I've
he's
never
doing.
really been a fan of his, so I don't.
It's always about people who are
I'm a
on his,
hater.
it's him bringing people in his fucking room. It's about who he brings with him. It's the collaboration factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But lately it's been like a you laugh, you lose, or you laugh, I pay my viewers, and those kind of be like that might be for other Miskit viewers.
That shit
And
sucks.
I don't like
Right,
it.
Ludwig does that too, and I don't think it's funny then either.
Oh, disagree. The most recent one for Ludwig was great.
Really,
fish one?
I feel like half the time when he does the you laugh you lose ones, they're not like.
No, they talked about it on the yard, and I was like, okay, I gotta watch this. And they literally got a fish, but they didn't thaw it out enough. You didn't see this?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so they talk about it in one of the episodes of the yard, but Eamon basically like he goes psycho mode and doesn't actually laugh at anything for the first like 10 minutes.
Okay.
And it's like, what the fuck, dude? You're supposed to like be like remotely human, and then starts laughing more. So it results in them getting hit with a fish. It's like you laugh, you get hit with a fish. Was the result. So it was him and Slime, Ludwig and Slime versus Aiden only. And they lost. But the fish wasn't thawed enough because they bought like, it was a giant sea bass and they had like partially frozen it.
Fucking
Yeah.
geniuses.
So then they hit them in the face with it, and Ludwig got a concussion because it was so like
Frozen.
stiff still. It
Yeah.
was frozen. Yes. That's why I'm surprised you didn't hear
Damn,
that. That was
no.
force
see,
into that.
that was
fish.
funny.
I watched that video. I watched the first 10 minutes, and I was like, these videos aren't funny, and I turned it off.
Oh no, the videos weren't. I don't watch for the videos that they're watching. I watch for their reactions because I just like them. That's a whole different thing. Let's not
Yeah,
touch on those guys.
see-
they're out of the drama.
See, yeah.
So
that's
that's
just 'cause you
basically-
like Ludwig.
But yeah,
that
I
you
don't watch
his-
any of the people
Yeah.
involved in this drama, so
Yeah.
that's why I was like,
Yeah, I mean, so I watched Charlie like doing some stuff with it and talking to her. You know, in a VOD I
didn't
saw of
see
an
that.
hour and a half one of him talking about things, and like he ended up in it a little bit, and his whole like thing was basically like, hey, if you knew and you didn't say anything or make it right or go to the authorities, like you're a bad person. If you knew at some level, even with like, unless of course like the victim had specifically said like, I'm telling you, but please don't go forward with this time.
Mhm.
That's like the only exception, which very well may be the case for certain people, like Train.
Yeah.
More so than XQC is what he said. That should be about. Oh yeah, sorry. The final summation of the drama. This happened literally right before he. No. Like this is actually like a big like. Let's close the bookend of this because this just happened right before you guys got here and right before you almost saw me in my bathroom. So
yeah, like I look right first.
so Twitch posted right before this that they have basically heard the feedback because there was also a huge thing. Oh, before the train wrecks thing where Miskiss smarted off, it was because he was basically shitting on gambling streams.
Yeah.
And he was saying
Oh yeah,
gambling streams are
race
not,
debate.
it was a
Yeah.
huge bait, right? Of should there be gambling or should there not be? Resolution to that is Twitch has heard them, and as of October 18th, gambling with like different certain like things. So I think like poker streams are probably still allowed. like real life poker table
Yeah,
event.
that seems fun.
But gambling on like slots or things like that.
I don't think any
Online
online
gambling.
gambling should be
Yes,
completely
I agree.
banned.
I
So
agree.
so I love that. Like I think streaming a
Twitch.
poker game amongst like if we streamed a poker game on my Twitch channel, right?
Yeah.
Where we would put $20 in, we invite one of our friends over, we did it just like this. We're playing poker, right? It would be a great time.
Listen.
It'd be fun. But doing that in an online arena where you can just keep loading into the microtransaction like
Well,
basis.
I
that's
even
the
like
problem.
watching. There's guys who will go and play in the casino who do mostly on
So,
YouTube.
Yeah.
My
But
thing
they'll
is,
go and play, and you
my
can watch
thing
them
is
play,
like,
and that's fun.
a 16-year-old can't get in on a poker game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but they
can with a
go-
crypto wallet.
Yeah, exactly.
They absolutely can. They absolutely
And,
can.
like,
and
when
it's
you-
dangerous, man.
When you're exposed to all these websites, especially the shadier ones, like
Have you guys ever been addicted to like any form of like
gambling.
or even like loot boxing, anything? Like
Mm,
I'll be honest, I'll go start with mine so you guys can get an idea. Like when Overwatch first came around for me, and the loot box system was like buying loot boxes, and there was events like the winter event or like the like New Year event, like the Lunar New Year event. I would buy like 50 boxes sometimes, which is
Yeah.
like a $40 purchase.
the only one
I buy like 100 sometimes in certain events just so I
trying
can
to
get the
think.
skins I want.
That's fair.
Bro, I was down bad on certain ones, or I've been down bad on like gotchas. I've been down bad on Fire Emblem Heroes when the first.
Genshin.
No, Fire Emblem Heroes mostly. That was the one.
I got
'cause
got
I
on
did
Clash
push.
of
you
Clans for a
talked
little
about
Well,
once you
I
played
pushed like top 5,000 in the world in that one event. Whether like that was like the Black Knight event from Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, and that was like my jam. And
Yeah.
I was like, after that, I was like, I have a problem.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna
That's the
stop.
thing with all those mobile games, though. Like they get you
That's
hooked.
why I don't play
They
'em.
have just enough gameplay to like keep you coming back, and they
Well,
don't take
so-
too much effort. So, you
So
can
what
just
happened was I
always
put a
be
lot
on
of
it.
money in that one, and at first it was like I was maintaining resources regularly, but then sometimes I wouldn't play for a couple days, and then after buying all the resources I bought into through like the gotcha rolls, I had infinite playability resources. So that I will say, like after putting so much money in and having that like resource to be able to play, bro, I would be able to play infinitely if I wanted
Yeah.
to. And that's the kind of value that like if you wail a little bit, it really
There's
does.
a level. Yeah, you have to.
There's
like,
a level of whaling that
you-
actually does become beneficial for your economy for other things.
Right. If you do like to like if you like the game,
Oh, I
enough,
love
then,
that
then,
game.
Then not any amount of spending I think can be warranted as
I-
long as it's
I
safe.
have
for
one
yourself.
game, I guess. This I haven't done it in a while. So obviously CS:GO cases, right?
Sure.
I think I opened like 40 cases within like a few days to get my knife, but as soon as I pulled the knife, I haven't opened a case since.
Respect.
Yeah.
What are you?
I think the only game
Now, if
that
I pulled
got
a shitty
close
knife, I would have probably kept going.
was probably either Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering. Both because
Ooh, hard
both
I can
because you
see.
have to pay
Duel
to play.
Links,
Like I would play
Duel
Arena.
Links.
Yeah, I've been down bad for Duel Links
I've
before.
been
Like-
down
like
bad.
What
for-
deck were you down bad for? Sorry, I want to hear you. I
So
promise.
there's 3 decks.
Oh God, you're bad.
Well, I mean,
I just wanted
they're
that-
all
You have to
low
buy all the
rarity.
cards on Duel Links.
You have to open packs.
It's open packs.
Yeah. So Harpies, because they had their own mini pack,
Yeah, I
and
remember
they're
that.
sick. So that was like only $20, I think. Expensive one was Heroes.
Dude. Oh, yeah. Dude, you
That's-
want to know what I went down bad for?
Yeah.
Back when it was before it was like banned, and
Yeah.
was it like before it was the world.
Alistair.
Yeah, the Alistair
Invoked.
Element Sabers.
Oh,
yeah, dude.
God,
Invoked Element Sabers was
bro.
gross.
That set had like 20 supers.
I know, and I had to go down bad for that shit. Sam
Card
got so mad
games
at
will
me.
get you, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like for Magic and for Hearthstone, it was both for Arena and drafts.
So,
So like it's fun to play, and that's how you play
Diz,
the game.
let me tell you how the Duel Links thing works. Is so they would there's 2 types of like sets for cards.
Mhm.
The mini packs, which usually hold only 2 archetypes.
Yep.
And then there's the main like line ones, which have like 4 to 5.
Yep.
And every box is like you're guaranteed 1 ultra and like maybe 2 of each super.
Yep.
Okay.
So in a lot of decks, in the way Duel Links changes the rarity of cards
It's
from
2
how we know
ultras, I
it.
think. By the way,
No, it's 1.
oh, they changed.
It's
that.
only 1. Yeah.
How they
So-
change.
Yeah. So like they up the rarity of shit cards that we know and love.
Right.
Yeah,
and
they
like
do.
and like key combo pieces that are normally normals and rares
to make them harder to
to-
acquire.
Right.
So,
to make
like-
them harder to find, so that there's a
Yep.
market for you.
you have
pay
to buy
for.
150 packs before you can restart the pack. So there was a point, and I had like it wasn't that I was investing a lot of money. It was I spent like 6 months
Yeah.
of grinding for it.
Yeah.
It took me 150 packs to get the 1 card I needed, and
Yeah.
then like it's just not worth.
No, that's how it goes. Like the same thing for
Yep.
Magic. I'd play draft, but then like you'd win more packs from draft, and then I could make like decent standard decks. But if you don't play for often enough, then you don't have the resources to like make new cards when the new set comes out, and then you don't have anything to play in standard, and you're like, all right, now I got to go back to draft. So then you start putting I think it's like $10 a draft.
Yeah.
So every time and that's the only format I want to play. It's where you go around the circle and each person picks a
It
card,
picks a card, yeah.
and you get to build your deck. I think that's the most fun way to play Magic.
That's the most fun way to
And
play any card game.
the same way with Hearthstone, it was to play Arena, which is exactly the same thing.
I
Like
don't
you
know, you
walk
guys
through
know
and
what cubes are?
no.
So like Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic cubes are.
Oh yeah, Cube. I thought you said
cube.
cubes.
Yeah,
I was like,
sorry,
yeah.
about cubes.
yeah, I love Cube.
Dude, I think you would love Yu-Gi-Oh cube format.
I probably
Where
I
it's
love any
open-
format of
where-
draft. Really, I
Well,
think that's so much fun.
It's a great format of draft, but I think with Yu-Gi-Oh cubes, you can make them right. Like you can make them really balanced, and you can put like pretty generic shit in there, so like it doesn't get crazy.
Are you talking about the ones you get from Target and Walmart?
No.
Okay, I was
This
about
is-
to say that.
it's
Self-built
a It's a
cubes.
self-built cube. It's
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's like 5,000 cards, and then
Yes.
like how many cards, and every time you want to play, you just take a set
A deck
amount of
box.
the
Okay,
cards
yeah,
out.
yeah.
yeah, not even a deck box.
Well, no,
you
that's-
take like say we had like 4 people playing.
Yeah.
Let's say we had a pool of like 600 cards.
Yeah.
Right.
We
it's
grab a
just
stack
whatever,
them out,
yeah.
and then we start like setting up packs of 13. Then we draft those, and we make the best decks we can, and we duel for a night.
There's like a series I follow a bunch of Yu-Gi tubers.
Yep.
Where they go through each pack that was or each set that was released, and they'll like do it by season. So
Oh,
like,
and play
yeah.
it.
and then so they'll do that draft for each set.
See,
Oh.
yeah, that's
and
fun.
like,
People do that for
but
Magic
they do it
too.
to where you can get there's 3 of each playable card because that's like what you can
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
and you hold those cards until the end of the season.
Oh, that's real neat.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know that idea you had a while back about us like doing like we should show you Yu-Gi-Oh cards and you think they're good or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, that exists. It's called Staple or Stinker.
Oh shit.
It's really good. It's on a card market channel that I watch on YouTube.
Well, hey, it's okay. People do that all the time. I've seen it on
Yeah.
all sorts of other
Yeah.
like Magic the
Yeah.
Gathering players will meet a Yu-Gi-Oh player and
That's
they'd be
exactly what they
like,
do.
"How much you think this is?"
Yeah, so the value thing is an
Yeah.
interesting discussion. I like the do you think it's good or bad though, because in Yu-Gi-Oh there is some very deceptively like wordy
Good
cards. You
sounding
think, like,
cards.
they sound
I
good,
feel like
but then
once
you
I
think you know
once I
two
kind of get
rules,
an
like,
idea
nah.
of what the end goal of
Let
most
me
decks
explain to
is.
you what if means and what win
Have you
means in
seen
Yu-Gi-Oh.
have you seen the
yeah,
new
and you have in the past.
have
and
you
it's
seen the new God card support for Yu-Gi-Oh?
Egyptian God cards?
I don't want to hear about that.
Let me tell you this trap card though. It's essentially
okay.
the first 3 lines of text are your opponent cannot activate cards in response to this. Your opponent cannot negate the effect. Your opponent cannot negate the activation of this card. And then you draw 6 and get to like mill a Slifer and summon it. It's a dookie card. Because your opponent draws as well until they have 6.
Oh.
But if you go first and
No, that just means you need another effect that means they don't draw any cards.
So
right?
so when they go first, as soon as they draw and put down 1 card, you can activate it, and so you could draw 6 and they draw 1.
I see what you're saying. That sounds dumb.
It is bad.
Sky Strikers are still too strong.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I have to say about
Sky
that.
Striker.
Yeah,
See,
this
but
guy knows about
that's,
Sky
That's one
Strikers.
of those cards that's deceptively bad.
Which one?
The one I just talked about.
Oh, yeah,
Or
that one's-
deceptively good. Like
yeah,
that,
yeah. There's other ones that are very much like it would be better if it didn't say something very specific
Right,
about it.
yeah.
Like one line of text was different, but that's not.
So do they do
all
that?
too
They do
common?
that in Yu-Gi-Oh? Because in Magic, what they'll do is if a card's too powerful, or if like let's say they had a rare that had a similar effect a couple
Yeah.
sets ago,
Okay.
they'll just remove a couple pieces of language that made it really good and print it as a common.
Yeah,
like-
they've done that. The pot
like-
cards, all the pot cards.
Yeah, but it's not like
Like, do you have like
Yes,
a
but they don't-
blatant like point and kill monster, but like sometimes the common version will be like only a black monster, so it has to be a black
It's a very
colored
tech.
spell.
It's a tech choice.
Right,
yeah.
yeah. So,
No,
like-
I get what you're saying. Yeah, there's things like that. It's very much archetypal things.
My favorite.
But it's usually never not within like the same archetype. It's like let's imagine there's an archetype that like is a spiritual successor
yeah.
to how a mechanic works.
Yeah, all right.
So let's say like there's like what Boojins,
Yeah, Boojins.
and then there's like something similar to Boojins now, like a Zodiac, right?
yeah.
So Boojins were like you use 1 to tutor out another to get out like a 3-star Xyz monster or 4-star whatever, right?
okay.
You just go up on each other.
Zodiacs literally would use 1, and then that 1 would be able to take 1 from deck to be able to like put that together to make this guy on top, and then you can just keep putting more of them on top of
And
the
he's just
extra deck.
stacking.
They
yeah.
they only
stacking.
they only needed 1 material, and it's a
Right.
Zodiac thing. So
Yeah,
it's like
okay.
what
But
you
Gotcha,
can-
you
yeah.
used Rat Pier, so it'd just be Rat pops another card out from deck, and then you have 2, so then you can make the first Xyz, which is the black colored card, and then you can just keep stacking the black ones on top over and over
Yeah,
until you get to the dragon one, who can pop anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's like the kind of idea. I think it's not so
my-
much like within the same archetype of like the boss monster similar to this guy. It's much more like,
mm,
nah, this is like the better version of this down the line, and this one like really reamed on that.
My
Yeah.
favorite is when they know something like a typing or archetype's dog shit,
Yeah.
and then they just print a fucking nuts card for it.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, you know how we tell you like there's the graveyard's like a second hand for some decks?
Yeah.
Reptiles are so fucking shit in general. They printed a card that lets you choose 5 reptiles to send straight to your graveyard from deck, no cost or anything.
Okay, so it's just Entomb for 5. Like,
Yeah.
Magic has a similar card.
Still dog shit.
Still dog shit. Still bad,
Like,
man. Yeah, man.
Blizzards must be real shit if that's the case.
Yeah.
Because there are
Yeah.
there cards where you can like revive your whole graveyard.
Reptiles, good sir.
Froge.
Is there a card where you could like res your whole graveyard?
There's some things that are
Because that card exists in Magic.
There's
so
a
I'm
card called
curious.
like Return from a Different Dimension that if you have exiled cards,
I think that's banned.
you could. I don't think it is. I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
That's probably banned. now.
Either way, there's like I mean the card exists regardless. So there's like
Yeah.
one that like allows you if you have like, 5 monsters in your exiled thing, you can like bring and you have 5 spaces, you can just bring all of them back to the field.
Mm.
That shit's fucking
It's funny.
crazy busted.
Yeah,
but like getting
okay.
it off is also kind of not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, right. Because you have a
It's a-
limited amount of
well-
monster slots. In Magic, there's not really a limit.
it's a trap card. So like you have to put the trap card face down for a turn, and it has to not like get popped or
You-
hit with like
You
a
want to
counter.
hear about my
Like a-
cheesy schoolyard deck?
No,
It was pretty good.
what is
It
it?
involved that card.
Oh god, what'd you do?
I'd have 3 copies of that, and then I'd
Uh-huh.
have a couple of copies of this other card that would, like, when you take a certain amount of damage, would banish all the cards from each player's hand, graveyard, and deck.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I had all 5 pieces of Exodia, you see.
Oh.
I got them for my birthday. There was a card
Ah.
shop by the house, and there was like $50 at the time.
I
Oh, yeah.
played a
And,
relinquish deck back in the day.
And so you just dump all them into the
Banish
banish, pop
all-
that, and
summon
then
all
they
5 of
all,
them?
Yeah, exactly,
That's
dude.
lit.
Kids would
Gross.
lose their fucking mind.
When you pulled out the Exodia, they're probably like, I saw that on TV.
Yeah,
It's over.
yeah, dude.
Guy I've been watching on YouTube recently called TGS Anime, really good actually. He does these things like, was this person actually about to win against X person?
Yeah.
And it was like one I watched was Kaiba and Yugi versus Darts from season 4.
Yeah.
It's like basically what he does is he breaks down their duel and like says all their moves, and then he like analyzes their hands like, but was that the best move they could make?
Oh yeah.
No, like he talks about like when
That's-
they
that's
missed, like he's like
interesting. I
this
like
person
that.
just blatantly misplayed and they could have won the duel.
Yeah.
Like literally, there's like a duel that's like a season finale. It's like 4 or 5 episodes, and it could have been won on turn 2 if Kaiba wasn't a fucking idiot.
That's fair.
Because he
Yeah.
had a trap card that would have allowed him to sacrifice Yugi's monster and then his blue eyes with 4,500 attack
And then
to
deal
have
direct
attacked
damage.
directly
Yeah.
and literally killed the guy who's at 4K. One shot him, game over.
Yeah.
And it would have surpassed the monster was on the field that had an effect that would have blocked an attack from another creature otherwise. But because it's attacking directly, it wouldn't have bothered. So he would have
Mm.
won the game. It's so funny to watch. I was like, wow, this is way better than watching the show.
Well, when I watched the show, I knew nothing about the actual rules of the game. I
Well,
just
the
knew
show
big
doesn't
monster
follow the
win.
rules at first.
I just knew big
at
monster
first.
win.
Yeah,
But
here's
it
a
does later.
fun one I think about all the time. So Battle City tried to actually follow the rules more,
But they-
except the part where they added the thing where if you fusion summoned a monster, it couldn't attack the turn it was summoned,
What the?
which is so ass. Like, why?
Why would you ever fusion summon at that point?
Well, it's at that point fusion summon was the only extra deck mechanic.
Yeah.
Oh,
those
okay.
are
There
the
was-
only monsters
There was
you
no
get out.
synchros. There was no.
But it was
keys.
still as back then. You were
Also-
Right, and you had to
Here's-
have polymerization.
Here's the
didn't you?
thought.
You had,
Yes.
you had to have the specific cards,
Yes.
polymerization.
Either on the
like,
field or in your hand.
In your hand, yeah.
This fucking idiot
or
Yugi.
a different fusion summoning
He
card.
just wait around until he could get the Dragon
This-
Rider or whatever the hell.
This
That was literally the card, by the way, that I was referencing. That if he, like Kaiba made that play, they summoned the Dragon Rider, which is a 5K
You-
monster.
you know
And
Yeah.
if they wouldn't have done that, they could have won the duel.
You know
Fucking stupid.
what my favorite is like there is like an episode where like I don't know, Yugi like stole one of Kaiba's cards and used it for a very specific fusion, and it's like, why the fuck are you running that card?
Yeah, like-
The whole-
Like, why are you even
Like,
running
why are you
polymerization
playing
at that
that?
point?
like because like he's not. It's not like he had time to prepare. It was like in the street, Yugi boy, fight me or I'll kill
He's
your
just running
grandpa."
polymerization
Shit.
just in case.
You remember when Kaiba gave Yugi the card to beat Merrick? It was like the little like altar thing
Yeah.
that he helped him beat it with, and that card's actually complete buns and
Yeah.
doesn't do anything other than a contest to the anime.
Yeah.
Or the Time Wizard that only works with the one
Time
specific
Wizard's getting
dragon.
new support soon. Let's go.
I thought it already did get it.
Good. Needs
Yeah.
more.
He
Give him
just
more Time
only
Wizard
works
support.
for fucking old
He's a coin
dragon.
flip card, dude.
Yeah.
He's literally a coin flip. You flip a coin. If you succeed, they go away. If you fail, you go away.
Yeah,
That's what Time
you're
Wizard does
just
actually
dead.
in the game. It's horrible.
Oh, really? It doesn't age
is
the baby
literally
dragon
a-
5,000 years.
Also, yeah.
No, but now the new fusion card support does do that actually.
Yeah, it does
Now you
bring
can-
it
yes,
out.
now you can use just baby dragon and the fusion card to make that or whatever.
So
Here's
it's
a thought
only
for
for
you.
legendary 1,000-year dragon. That's
That's
not even
the
a good
one.
card.
Not even a good card.
That-
2400 vanilla fusion.
Yeah.
Horrible card. How do you think Xyz is spelled?
EXCISE.
You're close. It's XYZ. And with that, we're gonna end this episode of the One
With
Club Podcast.
that,
See
I
you
have
guys
no
later,
idea what's
everybody.
going on.
Bye.
Bye.